Hi, I'm Alan Murdoch. For the past 20 years, I've been buying, fixing, and selling properties right here in Southern Arizona. And I want to buy your property. Whether it's a house, apartment, commercial building, or vacant land, regardless of the condition or the situation, I want to talk to you. When you sell to me, I pay cash and it's hassle-free. No repairs, no closing costs, and no commissions. If you have a property you don't want to deal with and you want a quick solution, call, text, or visit selltalon.com. Again, that's selltalon.com.
Copper Creek Cookies, Copper Creek Cookies, coppercreekcookies.net.
We can print anything on our soft vanilla logo cookies. We deliver them and other sweet treats locally. We are located at 4249 West Ina Road, Suite 121. Call us 520-300-1131. We bake smiles.
Copper Creek Cookies, Copper Creek Cookies, coppercreekcookies.net.
Hey everybody, welcome back to the Local Marana podcast. It's David Samorano. I'm here with another awesome guest. He's back here in the studio with us, Coach Steward, Marana High School football.
Oh man, thanks for having me, man. I'm glad to be back.
It's good to have you back here. We had a little break, huh?
Yep. It's been a few months, but we're back at it now.
Well, season's over. We're gonna do a little recap, talk about it, dive in a little bit.
That's fine.
We're gonna talk about some other current events happening, some stuff going on in football, the sport in general. But first, I wanna jump into the season for the Marana Tigers this year. You know, the record is what it is, but it doesn't give the whole tale, right? We're going to talk about how the season started, where we ended up, and then go from there. So let's talk about the season, how it started. You guys went in playing some heavy hitters.
Yep, right off the back. I think first game was South Point, and you've seen what South Point did this year. It was a pretty good team. You know, Coach Rogers had his team playing very well this whole year. So, like I said, we started off with them, and then we went to Tucson, and then we had to get back on the road to go down there to Higley. So those first few games were tough. We was able to squeeze out one win out of those two, but I think the way we played, versus those top teams in the state, and and just the outcome of it, like it wasn't a blowout, but I think our kids played well. You know what I'm saying? I think our younger guys was able to see some of those top teams that I always been preaching to them since they got there about for us to win a state championship, we was going to have to run through some teams like that. Yeah. And being able to see them early in the season, I think that does us good. It benefits us. So I think it didn't go, like I said, the record doesn't show like the things that we learned from it, the things we grew from. It doesn't show that. But like I said, it did a lot for us, and I think the kids, they always believe, but now they see like, okay, now we're playing against teams. For us to get to what we're trying to do as a program is win a state championship, we're going to have to go against a top tier team like South Point, a team like Higley, for us to be able to do what we want to do. So like I said, the season didn't go the way we wanted. We made the playoffs. We won the region. That's one of our goals, winning the region every year. Making the playoffs is another one of our goals. So being able to do those two goals were good for us, but we're not satisfied. We want to go win a state championship. And I believe the coaches believe that we have the guys in our locker room to be able to do that. So we just got to keep working, man. We just got to keep working.
Right. You played those teams and you competed with those teams.
Yeah.
But that Higley game was close.
Down to the end.
You had them on the ropes.
Oh, down to the end. And just being in that environment. It was their homecoming actually, and just
spoiled the party.
That's what I'm saying. Keeping that crowd quiet the entire game, was good for us, because we was able to, get our plays in and out, so the environment wasn't really hostile the way we thought it was going to be because of how we came out and played. We kind of kept them quiet for the most part. And then when they went up towards the end, I think they went up about 3 or 4 points, that crowd just erupted, you know what I'm saying? And we tried to crawl back in it with about like 30 or 40 seconds left, and we came up short. But like I said, the boys played well. And I think for our younger guys, being able to be in that environment, play with those teams that actually went and won state, shout out to Higley. They won state this year, and being able to compete with them the way we did, we know we have the talent to be able to go further than what we went this year.
Right. You sure do. So there's been some murmurs in the community about the 6A class and that the Marana Tigers will be in there fully, including football next year. Is that true? Can you elaborate on that?
So not next year, this 2024, 2025 season, we won't be 6A. We should stay in our 2-year window. So we should have our exact same schedule that we had last year. But I think after this year, going into the 2025, 2026 season, all the sports at Marana should be 6A. Right now, every sport is 6A except for football.
Yeah.
So I think after this year, after this 2-year deal that we have, we will go up to 6A after that.
Okay.
So I think our schedule next year should be similar to what we had this year.
Okay.
And the same 5A, but then the next season, 2025, 2026 schedule should be us in 6A.
Okay.
Well, that's basically what they told me. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I'm going off of. Or they might just keep us where we at. So
yeah,
it wouldn't be a problem with me either or.
Yeah. And we lost some home games this year because of a storm.
Oh, definitely, man. No, man.
I was there for that storm.
Oh, that was
backstory, Coach. I'm there to go do
the media day.
The media day.
Yeah, man. The media day.
So I'm driving there. I'm going through the monument, Saguaro National Park, and the clouds are they're getting black, scary looking. I'm like, these things. This is going to open up, and so I'm in the auditorium.
I remember that.
Was it the University of Arizona
Sports Radio? Sports Radio was there. I had a lot of people there. What was crazy was I had just left to go get my daughter from school to come back, and I was driving too, saying the same thing. Like, man, those clouds are looking pretty dark. What's going on out here? But then once I got to her school, like by the Safeway, I'm like, oh, maybe that was just a cloud storm that I just rode through. Because on the other side, it doesn't look like nothing is happening. But then when I was on my way back and I got all those calls like, Coach, do not come back this way. It is going crazy here. And I was like, wait, I was just there. How did that happen? So it was crazy. And then you called me and was like, oh, I don't think we having nothing. The power's out. And I'm like, I was literally just there. I didn't know what happened. So it sucked, man. It ruined it. And the kids was looking forward to the media because it was something that had never been done there. You know, just little new things that we're trying out, and we want to do it again next year. Because the boys asked, are we going to make up that media day? I'm like, dude, the season over. But I told them, man, I'll try to do it next year before the season. Yeah. And, and I really want to add like some more other sports, like volleyball is going on during that time, swim. We'll be able to get like the student athletes, and be able to talk about the season. What did you do during the summer to get yourself prepared for the season, or how you expecting this season to go? Stuff like that. So I'm looking forward to it next year.
Yeah. Well, let us know. We'll be there again.
Oh, man. I love it, man.
It was just crazy. 1 second, we're just hanging out in the auditorium, and the next, it was pitch black in there, man.
I know, it was bad. So if you go back and look we got a camera that's on our field.
Yeah.
If you go back and look at the camera, right when the storm hits, the field just disappeared. The turf just took off. Like, it was crazy. And then the next day, the aftermath, seeing everything.
All the trees broke. Trees that have been there for
the boys weren't even worried about
years.
None of that. Nobody was worried about none of that. Coach, what happened to the field? Is that going to jeopardize our season? That's all thing that they worry about. And I was like, man, look at these trees. Look at this building. They was like, forget all that. What happened to the field, Coach? They was almost done.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, that's heartbreaking. They're all excited.
It was heartbreaking. It was very.
But the field got put together. Community came out there and helped out.
Oh, definitely. And the community, man, to this day, I talk about that with my friends back home. Like, if they would have just seen how many people was able to come out and help us because they wanted to see us, have a home game. And, Coach Rogers even bringing South Point over to kind of help with it. It was just a beautiful thing watching the community come out and do that. So, hats off to the community, man. That was great.
It's so cool to see
that's a community that got you back. You know what I'm saying? So
right.
That's pretty good.
All right. So I go to the Mountain View game, Coach. Okay. I come in with a big head. You know what I mean? I'm like, we've got this. The team, the talent is there. We're ready. Let's go. And it, again, respected. It's a rivalry game.
Yeah, rivalry
right?
game. Yeah, that's been played for years.
Yeah,
I heard. So.
Yeah, and that's on me because I came in a little too big headed. You know what I mean? If I see Mountain View's coach, I'll be like, if he comes on this program, I'll be like, hey man, I owe you an apology because I thought that was in the bag before it even started. But go to the game, and they made it Marana's home game because the field at that point still wasn't ready, right? Mm-hmm. So, and it did not go the way I had thought it would in my head, and I was actually pretty shocked. And my question was like, did anything in the game plan change? Was there an injury on the Mountain View side where you guys had prepped with the scout team doing certain things, or was it kind of what you expected? It just was such a fierce competitive game. That's how it ended.
Well, I appreciate the confidence. I always try to get the boys to go into the game that confident, So
you're welcome.
Man, I think Coach Johnson and his staff, he had those guys ready to play. most teams that we see with our offense try to keep the ball away from the offense because we can score within seconds, So most teams try to play keep away from us. They'll run the ball, try to run down the clock a lot, try to dominate the time of possession, So we understood that most teams are going to try to come in and run the ball and stuff like that. So for the game plan, I think the kids was ready, but it's a rivalry game. Anything can happen. At that time, I think we was 1-3. Going into that game. And like I told the boys, the record doesn't matter this week. You know what I'm saying? None of that matters this week. What you did last week or the 2 games before, it doesn't matter in this game. This is a rivalry game. You're going to have to play your hardest. You're going to have to play 4 quarters. And I think that's something we struggle with early too, not playing all the way through. And Mountain View, they had a good game plan. They executed it right, and they was able to come out with the win. So hats off to Coach Johnson and his staff. But we'll get to play again. That's the beauty of it. Yeah. We'll get to play them again. And right now in the offseason, I've been telling the young guys, because usually in the offseason I have the trophy in there, but now it's not in there, So who going to go get it back? And, them juniors that's going to be seniors next year, we going to get it back for us, Coach. And then the sophomores and we going to keep it. So I like that in the offseason right now that they got their mindset on we got to go get it back. So we can use that to fuel us this whole offseason, to fuel us to go get that back. And get the battle of the boot back to its home side.
Its home side. Just the overall environment of the game was incredible. Even though it was a home game for the Marana Tigers, there was no seats.
Yeah. Anywhere. So these last since we started it back up, my first year, since we've been playing the last 3 years, the games have all been sold out. It's been crazy. The first year they played at Marana, my first year. Dude, you couldn't even walk. Like, the lines were so long. And I was like, whoa, I didn't know the games was this big, And then the next year we was at Mountain View and it just got bigger. And then now that they won it this past year, it's not even going to be bigger next year. So I think we should find a neutral site to make it, to let everybody get in there because being at the 2 high schools, it kind of condensed on how many people we can bring in. I think if we had a neutral site, playing at the U of A or something, I think it'll bring I think it'll just bring a lot more people out. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I think last year Desert View and Sunnyside had played at Keno Park or something like that. They played somewhere neutral site, and I think it's just fun for the kids, that environment and all. I think it's just a good time.
Yeah, anytime you get them in a bigger stadium.
Yeah, it is just a good time. Yeah,
that's
I think it's gonna be good next year though, and I hope the fans come out and support again, man. Every year it's just been good, So both teams, both schools do a great job of getting everybody excited for the game. So looking forward to it next year.
So you guys are at one point you were 1-4, right?
Yeah, I think we was 1-4 all the way midway through the season.
What changed? What happened to?
Oh, so I think one of the biggest things, and I have been shouting it since the summer. Leadership, I know leadership don't sound like a lot when it comes 14, 15-year-old kid. Leadership, what they got to do with us playing football, Coach? You know what I'm saying? I'm going to catch the ball, this and that. And I don't think they understood the leadership part of that, you know what I'm saying? And we kept harping on it week in and week out. And I think by the time we had that break, our bye week, the kids had they came together, a students only meeting. They told the coaches to step back, and they kind of talked to each other, and they spoke to each other, and they told them, what is it that we can do, to change this, you know what I'm saying? And some of my younger guys had to step up, my juniors, because I told them we have a talented group, but if nobody lead us, it's not going to go nowhere. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? And I said, if the coaches have to be the ones that continue to lead us, we're only going to go so far, you know what I'm saying? And I think those young guys realize hey, this is going to be us next year if we don't get a hold of this. Yeah. So some of those young guys stepped up. I had a few of my seniors, Marcus Gonzalez, I can say his name. He stepped up as one of my senior leaders that kind of, got the train moving hey, I don't want to lose these last 5 games. Let's figure something out, you know what I'm saying, that we need to do to get this train going. And he did. Some of those younger guys kind of jumped on board. And after that, it changed. We went on a 5-game winning streak after that. Won 5 straight, and we made some different changes as far as positions. But I think just that leadership part that, when the game get tight, you have your captain come around and say, hey, we're fine. We got this. Mm-hmm. And I think that's all those kids needed for them to reassure themselves that we were fine. Right. One of their boys telling them, hey, we're good. Let's go out here and score. And they'll go down there and score. And I'm like, hey, I've been telling y'all that for a few weeks now. Why did it work? So just watching them grow from that and learn from, it might have started off rough, but look at us now. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And we was able to sneak into the playoffs. We won 5 straight, and we was able to get in. We ended up losing to ALA Crane Creek. I think was it ALA Crane Creek? Yeah. Or no, Gilbert. I think it was Gilbert. ALA Gilbert. We ended up losing to them in the first round down there. So it was good to get in, but we didn't like the way it ended. But I think just for that senior class to realize, like, man, we did need leadership. I think some of them realized that leadership did become a big thing. Mm-hmm. Even though in the summer it sounded so small at the time. Right. But I think as we went through the season, they realized, man, coach might be right. That leadership is a key part that we missing, because when we start getting some of that leadership, the tide changed. You know what I'm saying? So I think for my younger guys now, my juniors and sophomores that's coming back, right now in the weight room, you can see some of that stuff. Some of them stuff like, hey, y'all, we need to get this. Let's make sure we do this. Let's make sure we clean up. I'm like, yeah, that little stuff going to go a long way.
It does.
You know what I'm saying? So that's one of the biggest thing I think that really hurt us. We didn't have the leadership that I thought we had. Well, we didn't have the leadership that I thought we needed early, but it did end up coming late, and we was able to get into the playoffs.
Right. I noticed something too. There was some quarterback position stuff going on. What was going on with that? You had 2 people playing?
Yeah, so I had 2 quarterbacks. With our offense that we run, I had 2 quarterbacks to throw over 2,000 yards. So they did a real good job of engineering the offense. But it was some injuries that went down. We had to make some changes. Ended up bringing in the sophomore quarterback, because my senior quarterback then played the receiver. He didn't play DB. He played on both sides of the ball. So moving him was easier because he understood those different positions. Right. Very smart player. So bringing in the other quarterback halfway through the season kind of helped us also. You get what I'm saying?
You got 2,000 yards in 5 games.
Yeah. So like I always tell them, man, the offense works if you just listen. You know what I'm saying? Like, it works. And our coaching staff does a great job of getting those kids ready to play on those games. So it was a big old, group effort from everybody, because like I said, when you 1-4 going into the bye week, it ain't too much. You can yell and shout, but that ain't gonna do nothing. How can we fix this now? You know what I'm saying? And making a few changes, you know what I'm saying? The kids having their meeting and stuff like that. I think it ended up going well. You know what I'm saying? And I think from the outside looking in, you looking at, man, they 1-4, ain't nothing. What else can you do? But what we was doing internally, and things we talked about and things that we did to get over that hump, I think it helped us. And the kids know they was there, from the outside. I never listen to outside noise because they not there. They don't know what's going on. Right. And us doing what we had to do, to get that switch, I think it did wonders for us. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of people don't like the decisions I made, the positions and stuff that I moved, but it helped us. The one thing that I always think about is those kids. You know what I'm saying? I don't care the outside noise. Anything that's going to help these kids, I'm all about it. You know what I'm saying? And I think me making a couple of position changes and moving guys around, it helped us. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it shakes things up.
It has to. You know what I'm saying? And like I said, I always tell the kids, don't get comfortable. Be comfortable being uncomfortable. You never know when something's going to happen. Yeah. So
that's life. That's a life lesson, man. That ain't just the field. That's so every day.
I try to always give them something. That's one of my good friends always reminded me, man, don't just be down there trying to win ball games. Give some of these kids life lessons that they can live on, So I always try to give them that, but it helps us in the game of football. Yeah. So it works both ways.
And the parents lose that sometimes too.
Yeah, sometimes, sometimes they just thinking about my son, you know what I'm saying? I have a daughter and I get it, but I'm always looking for everybody, you know what I'm saying? Because I look at it like this. If we all doing well, we all going to eat, you know what I'm saying? Like this year we won the region. So we had a lot of kids win a lot of region awards. We all did good, you know what I'm saying? So it's a team sport. So if you just looking at it just for your kid, it never works out. Or I even tell them, I can't run this offense behind one guy. It's not going to work. You know what I'm saying? What if that one guy goes down? Now what? You know what I'm saying? I said I have to run a system. It doesn't matter who I have in there. It's going to work. You know what I'm saying? That's why we was able to switch the quarterbacks, and he was able to still keep going on what the last quarterback did, because we running a system. It's not just for one person. You know what I'm saying? So like I said, man, hats off to the coaches. They do a good job of getting everybody ready and stuff like that. But it's football, man. It's a sport you love, sport you hate. You know what I'm saying? It's like me, it has its ups and downs, the good, the bad. You got to take it all.
Yeah. 2 quarterbacks with 2,000 yards. I'm sorry. I got to talk about that because when I was playing back in 06, 07 at Marana, we were running the spread offense at that time. But there wasn't – you would see a quarterback have 2,000 yards on the season at that time. Like, that was something that did happen, and those programs usually were winning. Yeah. Those are winning programs with 2,000. You have 2 quarterbacks with 2,000 yards.
Yeah, that's
and
it.
I'm like, our quarterback
is crazy.
Yeah, our quarterback had like 1,000-something yards passing, but he also had 1,000 yards rushing.
Okay.
He was very mobile. He was really good. Shout out to Robert Rowe if you ever listen to this, man. You're a hell of a runner. Yeah, I think about that statistic, and it like in today's game, it's changed so much. Is basically what I'm getting into. The game's changed because even then we were running a spread. We thought we were awesome because we actually went to playoffs and stuff that year running that offense, and it was quick. But then I go and see you guys, for the first time. It was last year. I remember going to your game, and I'm like, holy! I blinked and it was a touchdown.
Definitely.
I just I went like that, and then all of a sudden I see one of our guys just. There's no touchdown. I'm like, okay. And then it continued. And then not only that, there was the which we ran the no huddle at that time. The game still felt slower then than as it did now because I was watching you guys.
It's changing. Definitely. Even when I played in college, we ran, at the University of Houston, we ran a fast tempo offense. And I felt like, man, can't nothing go no faster than this. But then you see these offenses, these coordinators getting so creative and just going even faster. You know what I'm saying? And that's the one thing I try to tell the quarterbacks. We got to go faster. I say I want to start fast and finish faster. So I always tell the boys that, we're going to start fast and finish faster. And everything we do as far as an off season, we're moving. The weightlifting, we're moving. Get from one station to the next station. So we train that way. We don't just practice that way. We train that way. Everything we doing, we have a sense of urgency. So I think it's good. It helps us out. And each week I'm trying to catch the team with 12 guys on the field. Yeah. So my quarterback takes his time. He'll let the guy run off. And I'll be like, no, say hut, dude. Even though it's a dead ball in high school. Yeah. But sometimes we can catch him while he's running off and get the play off. So to me, it's a free play. Like in the NFL, when somebody jumps off sides. Yeah. Aaron Rodgers usually take a shot. Yeah. So that's what I'm thinking. Like, hey, we can get a free play out of this. And if they get an interception, well, they had too many players on the field, so we can get it back.
You're good.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So I'll be trying to teach my quarterback to have that in his head. Because sometimes he'll be ready and he'll look and see him running off. And I'm on the sideline, snap it, screaming, and he'll kind of wait. So, and I'd be like, no, I'm trying to catch him on the field. So, and he was like, oh, my bad, coach. So, like I said, it works. And we're trying to figure out some stuff this offseason so we can go a little bit faster.
I get that. Yeah.
Yeah. So I want to be able to go fast, but I still want to keep in control where everybody's all on the same page. So we're trying to find some ways for us to be able to go a little bit faster. Might need some more helping hands, but we'll figure out a way.
There you go. No wasted movement.
Yeah. That's basically what I'm trying to do. I don't want to waste no movement. I don't want to waste no time. If we can get back on the field, get back on the ball and snap the ball, I think it'd be good, especially when you get teams that get tired. Because the one thing we do, we condition. I make most of my kids. Yeah. I make most of them run track in the spring, and we try to keep that up. And I'm one of the track coaches, so I try to keep some of those running things in football so we can be in a tip-top shape. So when we are going that fast and that team get tired,
they cry.
Now we got them.
They're like, no.
Oh, now we got them. And I know we got them when we going fast and we just handing the ball off, getting 8 yards a carry. I'm like, oh, they must be tired. And then I hear one of the coaches will call the timeout. I'm like, oh, yeah, we got him. We got him. We got him. And that's when I tell the kids, we got to go faster. Yeah. We got to go faster because now we got him. You know what I'm saying? So, and the boys look forward to it. Like the linemen said, it makes the blocks easier. Most of the kids just standing straight up because they don't know if we're going left, right. They just tired. And I tell the kids, when you're tired, you can't think. You know what I'm saying? And that's why we train that way. You know what I'm saying? So.
I love it.
I love it too. It's fun. I just like watching the boys, we just watching them doing what they do best and doing that at a high level. It's exciting to watch.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I remember, when you guys were 1-4, I was having a conversation with somebody here in the community and they were kind of like, man, I don't know how this is going to go. And I said, hey, here's the deal. The record is not the team. Like that's not the result of what they've been doing. And I was like, these are the teams they played. They competed. It was a tough schedule. I was like, watch what's going to happen when they start playing the city teams.
And we end up going and win the region. Yeah.
I don't remember. Maybe it was Tucson High or something. Right after I had that conversation, I went on and I saw the score in the second quarter. I'm all, oh yeah, they're okay. I was like, oh, we're fine. You know what I mean? And it's just there's a different level of ball play here. I mean, there's
definitely.
a select few of teams that are at a caliber that are competing with the Phoenix teams, and not to knock all the other teams, but I was like, oh yeah, we're gonna be okay because I mean, you still won the region.
I get what you're saying, and I always try to put it in perspective for the boys. I always try to tell them like it's talent down here in Southern Arizona, but even all these schools down here in Southern Arizona, you know, for us to win the state championship, we're gonna have to go through those Phoenix schools.
Right.
So my thing is, why not schedule them? You know what I'm saying? And some of them don't want to schedule us. Some of them don't like to make the trip down here. I tell them, well, I don't care. We'll be road warriors. We'll go down there. You know what I'm saying? And
no kidding. They don't want to come down here.
Nah, they don't
come
wanna
on.
They not trying to come down here, man. But like I tell the boys, for us to be great, you got to play good schools. You know what I'm saying? So why not schedule them? So that's the kind of mindset we have going into these games, and that's the one thing we teaching over there. Like, we want to be the best. We got to play the best. And so we schedule those teams. And when we get down here in region play, they like I said, we got great athletes down here. I think we lost this year in the region to Sunnyside. I try to make us go undefeated every year in the region, but this year Sunnyside got us, you know, but we was able to win the rest of them. You know what I'm saying? And we got to get Sunnyside back because, like I tell the boys, we keep that chip on our shoulder, man. We want to beat everybody because we're not just playing the games just to say we won. We're playing the game. We're training. We're constantly trying to prepare ourselves to win a state championship, and it takes us going into each one of these games and treating it as such. So we go into each game trying to be our best, trying to be perfect, because we're not just winning these games to get the W and say we won. We're winning these games to try to get to where we're trying to get somewhere, trying to prove a point. You know what I'm saying? And like I said, the boys are all on board. You know, like a few days ago when we had our we had our banquet. Yeah, I told the parents, for us to get to where we want to go, we're going to need the parents too. You know what I'm saying? We're going to need the front office. We're going to need the student body. We're going to need everybody going in the same direction, because for this to work, we're going to need everybody.
Right.
You know, and one of my biggest things that I always tell the kids, stay ready so you don't have to get ready, because you never know when it's going to be your opportunity, you know. So I always tell them that, stay ready so you don't have to get ready. So, you know, if somebody go down, oh, coach, I'm ready. I've been preparing all year for this. You know what I'm saying? So we won't skip a beat. So that's why being able to bring in that second quarterback, it clicked right on, because, you know, stay ready because you never know. So
yeah, you know, Marana Tiger football player students that are listening to this, I'm going to tell you that what this man is instilling in your mindset is going to be so important
later
going forward. Yeah. Going forward, no wasted movement, taking care of business, staying ready. I can't explain to you how important that is, and how those life skills, you will stand out everywhere you go and everything you do. This is not a lie.
I'm listening to you, because at that age, man, that don't make sense.
It's hard to see. It's hard to see 12 years down the road.
It
really is. It's really hard to see that. But then, you know, when you start becoming when you become a father and you hit the workforce, right, to get to where you want to go, if you have the mindset that coach is teaching you, I have to echo it, because it's hard to, you know, they see you in the program and the coaches that are there, to hear it from an outside source of somebody.
Yeah, you don't really believe it until you hear somebody else, or even their parents could be preaching that, but they don't believe it until coach says it.
Yeah, I still, to this day, my coach was Coach Willie Dudley, was my coach. And to this day, I still reference things he said.
Yep.
I still work as hard as I did, and I work the way I did when I had him as a coach.
Yep, same with me. Some of the quotes my coach used to say to us, I'd say it to them. Like on Thursdays, I always tell the boys, the hay's in the barn. They were like, what? I was like, I didn't know what that mean either. He said what he said, the hay's in the barn. Basically, because it's Thursdays, I walk through, and he always said, everything we're going to do in this game on Friday is in. It ain't changing from here. You know, the hay's in the barn. The night is done. You know what I'm saying? So that's basically what he was trying to tell us. The hay's is in the barn. So, you know, you can close up the doors. But I always try to put things in perspective, man. Like I said earlier, man, one of my good friends always called me. He like, if we lose, he was like, man, what's happening, man? The pregame speech wasn't good enough. I'm like, golly. And he was like, man, don't just be out there trying to get some wins, you know. Give those kids life lessons, man, something that they can hold on to the rest of their life, and the wins gonna come. You know what I'm saying? And I tell the kids, they fall in love with the process, man. Like the weight room, the training in the summer. If you fall in love with the process, the rest of the stuff will take care of itself.
Coach, I got to tell you, the core of that team I was on. So at that time, Marana football was a laughing stock when I was in the program.
I get that.
My freshman, sophomore year, I think we won 3 games total in those 2 years, right? And then Coach Dudley comes. It's my junior year, and he starts turning it around. We get 4 wins, which people are like, oh man, But then the next year we go to playoffs. We're 6-4. Going into the playoffs, okay, and we're competing.
Y'all got in at 6-4. They didn't let me in my first year at 7-3.
Yeah, but we had played some competitive teams at that time. Ironwood, Sabino, and CDO were all the powerhouses here, and we played all of them. And Rincon was at that time. I know it's strange to say Rincon University was a powerhouse. We actually beat them in like the last few seconds of the game, which we were supposed to lose, right? So we ended up going into playoffs. We went and played Cienega. We had them. We were winning at halftime against Cienega at that time. We ended up losing. Bunch of bad mistakes. But what I wanted to say was that the core group of that team, to this day, they're all winning. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, and
like the standout, like linemen that worked hard, the skill positions, the quarterback, all of them they're all winning.
Winning in life.
Like they didn't I didn't see them just like fold up and just kind of let life take them. They're like they attacked
it. Yeah, like my alarm that goes off in the morning at 6, it says attack today.
Yeah.
It tells get up and go. Get up. Because if I lay there, I'm probably going to lay there another 20-30 minutes. So when my alarm goes off, get up. It says attack today. So I get up and just get going. You know what I'm saying? Because like I said, if I lay there at 6, I think I get up 5:50. If I lay there, it's 6:30. Oh, we're going to be late. Yeah. So right at 5:50, get up and just start. And I start going. So
yeah. So I'll get off my preaching here about the importance of what you're teaching, but we're gonna go in a new direction here on the rest of the podcast, and I want to talk about, because you were in college football, you played for University of Houston. Transferring was different then, it's way different, right?
Oh yeah.
I want to talk about today's transfer portal and what's going on with that. Like, how do you feel about this thing, this monster that has?
So when I was playing back in college, I was in college from 2009 to 2013. So when I was in college, you couldn't just, we use ASU and U of A. You couldn't just leave ASU and come down here to U of A. It didn't work that way. You would have to go to a junior college first. So you have to basically go down to go back up. So you have to go to junior college, play for a year, and then you can sign to another school. You just couldn't transfer and go right in and play. Oh, it didn't work that way. So now with the portal, I don't mind it because, hey, if you want to go somewhere else, go somewhere else. My thing is you should have went there out of school, but things happen, you know what I'm saying? Things come up, so I get it, you know what I'm saying? Like the portal's fine, but like with the money and all that, the NILs, it's like, man, I think at some point we're going to have to fix the system. Because
it's going to implode.
Yeah, because the way it's going now, I just think, man, it's too much going on right now. And I think the high school kids are the ones that's not benefiting from it. You know what I'm saying?
Explain on that. Elaborate on that. Why?
Like, I think because if you think about it, with using a portal, if I'm a coach, okay, we didn't have 2 good seasons the past 2 years. So I'm on the hot seat right now. All right, I got these, 60-some odd scholarships. I'm not looking to go to those high school players. I got to win now because they about to fire me. So I go to the portal. You know what I'm saying? But as a high school player, like I can come in, you might have to develop me a year or 2. But if you can get a guy that's already played 2 years in college, then been through a program already, why not take him? Like, why go get that freshman? You really don't. To be honest, like I told my high schoolers, they really don't need you. They can just go get this guy that's done 2 years at a division, like at a big time school, been in a weight room program. They can just go get him. He's ready to play right now and just study waiting another year or 2 to develop you. You know what I'm saying? So I'm real hard on my freshmen. You have to start now because if you get up to your senior year and you ain't been lifting these weights, shoot, it's a guy that already been in a college program already 2 or 3 years that has 2 or 3 years of eligibility left that can go play right now. So why should they come to the high school?
Yeah.
That's how I'm looking at it. Why would they come down here? You know what I'm saying? If like you a big 5-star coming out, I see they go get you because you probably be ready to play your freshman year. You know what I'm saying? But if you're not a big 5-star player, and it's a lot of kids that are not these big time 5-star players, where do that leave them? You know what I'm saying? So that's why I'm like, they going to have to figure out something, even if the NCAA say, well, the colleges have to use so many scholarships towards the high school and then the rest can go to the portal. But if not, I don't see no coaches saying, yeah, I'm gonna go get this guy out of high school and I'm gonna put my job on the line, trusting this 18-year-old coming out of high school. I don't think that's happening. I'm gonna get this 2-year vet that's been playing and he can come over here and lead us to the promised land. You know what I'm saying? So to me, I'm like, it's kind of hard, you know what I'm saying? As a high schooler, when I came out, we wasn't going against the portal, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like we was going against each other. Like, hey, I got an opportunity. If I work hard, outwork this other high schooler, I got a good chance. But now I got to work this college player that's been in college for 2 years. That's kind of impossible. I don't even have the weight room, the way he's eating, the training, the facilities that he's being. I don't have that at my, at my access. So he has all this stuff. He's over me. So I'm like, what would make a college coach come down to the high school and get one of these high school players when I'm begging some of them to get in the weight room?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, and I tell the boys, if I got to beg you to get in the weight room, you don't have a chance. Yeah. You don't have a fighting chance, especially with this portal. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to do everything I can to get myself noticed and get seen to show these coaches I am ready to come in and play or get myself ready to play. But I think it's just hard, man. Yeah. It's a hard thing. But me, honestly, as being a player of college, I don't mind it because when I was in school, they didn't pay us like that. You know what I'm saying? And seeing these players being able to make that money off their name, image, and likeness I think is great. You know what I'm saying? I think it's good. But I do believe they should put, I don't want to say a cap on it, but I think every player in college should have got a base salary. Look, this is the base salary. Everybody's making 10 grand. That is fine. And on your free time, if you go out and, you can make some money off your name, image, and likeness, that's on you. That's your money. But I think if we all working off a base salary, what you doing with yours and what I'm doing mine, that's fine. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. But I think it just keeps everything in perspective because if the coaches have to go spend $2 million on a quarterback, you know what I'm saying? And you got $1,000 line, well, that investment in that quarterback probably not going to work. Right. You know what I'm saying? So now you got to go spend some money into this line. But if we all making the same amount, it ain't going to be no problem. And if, like I said, on the weekends, he goes to a couple of restaurants or, these different places around town, these different businesses, and he sells himself to them and they want to be able to market him and do all that commercials, that was on him. That's him. He made him some extra money. That shouldn't affect how I play because he went out and made some money because I can go do that same thing. You know what I'm saying? But I just think right now, man, with the way it is, somebody's going to have to step in and,
that would be an interesting locker room dynamic.
Yeah, definitely.
You're next to a player that's raking in the cash, and you're
making $20 million.
You're eating ramen noodles.
I'm sitting there eating ramen noodles. He got a whole steak on his plate, and I just remember when I was in college, man. Like it was a McDonald's right across the street. We'll run over there and get something real quick, and this guy coming in, he just went set at a restaurant and brought in a big old steak. Like, but I get why you bringing a steak. Mm-hmm. You bringing in $1 million every month. I'm bringing in couple $100, you know what I'm saying? So I just think, I don't know how the colleges do it. It ain't my problem, but some colleges have their way of doing things. I just think, man, at some point the portal's gonna run dry.
It has to. And
then what?
There's a concern on player development for me. Right? What's the competition gonna be like in 4 years?
Man, it's crazy you said that. The one thing I preach to my coaches, man, we can't get into that, we need this player, we need that player to win the game. Mm-hmm. We got to develop them. You know what I'm saying? Player development is one thing that we're doing over there. And I think, it's like some schools you can go, they got 3 top players. I got 22 top players because I'm developing each one of them to play their best at, you know what I'm saying? So I'm always in the player development stage. I love that part. Love seeing you start somewhere and now you this different player after so many years or you didn't put in the work. So like you said, the player development is big and I don't think I think where the colleges have made it where you don't give the coaches an opportunity. Some colleges do, some universities do, but I don't think, like right now, some colleges, I need you to win now.
Yeah.
And how do I win now? Do I go get these high school players to try to win now? Or I can go in this portal, and I'm telling them, we're going to spend a little money, but I got to if you want me to win right now. And I don't think some of those guys that sit behind those desks, I don't think they understand that. Like I have to develop these kids to my system. I got to put my, my hands in certain places for us to get going. And you got some ADs that understand that. Like, hey, it's gonna take us. I give you a 5-6 year plan. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Let's try to get this working. But to win right now, I got to win tomorrow, dude. That's kind of hard coming in as a new coach. You know what I'm saying? And some coaches able to do it, can go right in and change around, but. That's hard. How many coaches you know that can do that?
Did I miss something? What is this all supposed to accomplish? What was the end game? Because I'm looking at the playoff teams, and most of them are the same.
Yeah, always, every year.
So was this supposed to? I mean, that's my question for it. I understand the opportunity for the players to go to different programs, but as far as a competitive playing field, I don't know if anything changed.
I don't know if anything changed. It's still the same top teams that's in there every year.
Because even the guys that are backing up, let's say somebody's at Ohio State and they're the backup and they think that they're the best thing since sliced cheese, or sliced beer, and they're like, hey, you know what? I'm not getting playing time here. I'm gonna go to. Well, they end up at another
big school that's in the same position.
So even the smaller schools, you're still just kind of in the same spot.
So I think for
was there an end game? Did I miss something?
I don't know if it's end game. I'm on the same as you. I don't think it's an end game. I think they were trying to make it fair for everybody, but I think it still don't make it fair for the smaller schools.
Right.
Because the smaller schools, I don't have that type of money to be able to be dishing out to try to get these top players in here. So they are in the player development stage. We got to develop these young guys coming out of high school. You know what I'm saying? And I tell my boys, hey, them Division II, Division III schools come here. Hey, talk to them. Hey, you might need to go there, and it's okay to go there and play a couple of years, and then you can transfer it now. Right. You know what I'm saying? I had to go here coming out of high school. That's fine, but now I'm developed. Now I got my full potential. Now I can go up to one of those big schools and show what I have. You know what I'm saying? So I always try to tell them, keep that line of communication open with those smaller schools. Everybody's not going Division I, and I think a lot of kids don't understand that.
Well, only like 30% of the players in all the United States go play at the next level, period.
So, and all y'all not going to that. I don't care how big you think you are, how good you think you are.
Yeah.
A lot of things have to line up for you to be able to go play Division I. It's tough, you know what I'm saying? And it's so many kids out there after the same thing. So I always ask the kids, what are you doing to separate yourself?
Yeah, because hard work beats talent.
Anytime.
Talent don't work hard, right?
And while I go to practice every day, everybody goes to practice every day.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Are you taking care of your business in classroom,
Right.
Well, when I'm not looking, what are you doing? You know what I'm saying? Right. Yeah, I know you coming to practice every day, but what are you doing on the weekend? You just laying around doing nothing. Are you getting better? You know what I'm saying? Stuff like that. So like I said, the smaller schools, I think they're still in that development stage. And then some of these big schools, after 1 or 2 years, if you didn't develop them, hey, we'll take them.
Yeah, and then if you did develop a bunch of good players, they're going to take them anyways.
They're going to take them anyway because they're going to throw some money that you don't have. That you don't have to keep them.
You'll be the developing schools, and
there you go. But like me speaking with a lot of coaches that come after the school, some of them is okay with that.
Yeah,
we'll develop them. We'll get basically get what we need out of them. We'll work them. We'll get them right. We'll win ball games, and if they leave, they leave. You know what I'm saying? We did our job. We developed that kid. He was able to go to a bigger school that furthered his career. Yeah. Some coaches are okay with that, and some coaches, we don't even deal with the portal. We might get a few players out of the portal, but we can't. We can't live and die by that. He said we can't live by that portal. You know what I'm saying?
Well, we know there's some schools that are.
Hey, we just seen some schools that done that. I remember when the portal first happened. Texas A&M was one of the schools that they had the number one class that one year. I remember them coming out and they had the number one class. They had all those guys. To this day, what did they accomplish for that?
Yeah, you're right.
They didn't win the national champion.
No.
None of that happened. Half of them kids end up leaving anyway.
Yeah.
Probably going to get some more money from another school. So
well, as long as good old Nick Saban's around, I don't know.
long as Nick Saban. I'm a Nick Saban fan, man, and hey, I love me.
How can you not be? I mean, honestly, you could be jealous.
Yeah,
I love me some Nick Saban. But how can you?
He's been doing, and just listening to some of I done had some friends that didn't play for Nick Saban, and just hearing some of the things that they say about him, man, he wants you to be your best. You know what I'm saying? He's not going to accept the mediocre. You coming late. He's not accepting that. There's no reason why you shouldn't have got up this morning. I get it. Sometimes it happens. You know what I'm saying? My alarm, I overslept. But he's just not going to accept those little titty things because he wants you to be the best person you want to be. Yeah. And when you realize that's what he wants out of you, you start to raise your game. You raise your awareness and just things that you do, like getting up out of your bed and making it every morning, putting your shoes on the right side of the locker, hanging your jersey. He makes them do little things like that. And now it becomes a habit. Now you become this great person of society because of those little things that he harped on you about. And now you look around, now football's not working, but you just successful businessman. You know what I'm saying? You just doing all these different. You winning in life, like you were saying about the people from that team. You're winning in life, not football's done. But look at what type of person you became, type of human being you are. You know what I'm saying? And it's gonna make other people look up to you. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like my coaches did a great job of doing that. You know what I'm saying? Because now, me being a head coach and I got all these kids following me, looking up to me, I'm like, well, my coaches did a pretty good job, you know what I'm saying, of kind of developing me into the person I came today, you know what I'm saying. My mom played a big part in that too, you know, mama's boy, but just being able to, you know, lead these young men and give them, you know, word of encouragement and want them to do right by life. I think, you know, coaches play a big part, you know, a lot of kids' lives. So
yeah, they do.
I'm just happy to be doing what I'm doing. So
it's vital, man. It's vital. It keeps kept me out of trouble. And
definitely.
You know what I mean?
Definitely.
You're always working. You're always doing something.
So. Yeah, definitely. And right now, I'm getting ready to send out a letter to all the middle schools because I want to be able to, you know, at that level, middle school getting ready to get for high school, and nobody ready to go to high school. It's new to everybody. So what I'm getting ready to do is, you know, invite all the middle schools out to come learn how to weight train, come learn how to get your body ready, properly ready for the next level. You know what I'm saying? Whether they come to Marana or not, you know what I'm saying? I believe I'm doing my job by being able to put that out there. So I like it, man.
Good.
Keep them out of trouble.
You're a man for it.
You
are.
I don't know if I'm the man for it. I just try to think about what all people did for me when I was growing up. Like, we had those little things, and I'm like, why not? Because there's a lot of kids.
That's why you're here.
That's why a lot of kids do what they do. Like, man, my coach put this in my position for me to be successful. I took advantage of it. You know what I'm saying? My coach told me, if you want to be able to continue to play football, you have to figure the school part out. He was like, you can't be getting in trouble over there. I think you can come over here and play. It goes hand in hand. So I had to figure out the school part to continue to play. And then I ended up graduating, you know, getting my degree. And then I ended up going back to school to get my master's. I shocked myself because I was like, I did not like school, but I went and I did what I had to do there. So it allowed me to continue to play in football. And, you know, I try to tell the kids now, man, if a coach come to me and I told him I want to go play college football and these were the things I had to do every day, I was doing those things every day because I knew what I was trying to go do. You know what I'm saying? And I just think now, man, it's too many distractions.
Yeah.
The phone.
It's crazy. Put it down. Yeah,
they don't want to put it down. It's just so much distractions now. And we had our distractions when we was in school, but it's just.
Not at this level, though.
It's no way. Man, it's crazy. And it's like, if you're not willing to give up some of that other stuff, you trying to go play football, it's not happening. You know, you want to be the class clown more than you want to go play football. It's not happening for you. You have to be able to give up some of that stuff, man. And I don't think a lot of kids nowadays want to get it up.
Yeah.
And you know what I'm saying? So how do you compete with a kid that's been 2 years and then learn how to develop, you know what I'm saying? Then learn how to put the cell phone down in college.
Yeah.
That then jumped in a portal. You as a high schooler, you don't have a chance, man. So
it's what we call an educational opportunity.
Yep. You gotta take care of business now while you can.
You're right. Hey, let's jump into this last subject. We're killing it, man. We've already been here for 46 minutes.
Man, time always go by fast when I feel like, man. I feel like we just started.
I know. College football playoff.
Oh man, it does.
How'd you feel about that Florida State situation? What'd you think?
Oh man, as a player, you know, I think it sucks, man. As a player, you know, it's tough because I don't think people from the outside understand that coach could have been preparing them for that moment for the last few years. And now that moment came, the NCAA took that away from them. And I felt like that wasn't fair to them.
Checked all the boxes, man.
Checked every box, you know. And I always go back to when I first started at Marana, I had preached to them, we're going to make the playoffs. We're going to win the region. Mm-hmm. We're going to get in, in the state game. You know, but it's a process. And I think he probably was preaching that to his guys. That first year he came in, he said, we got to do these. You know, we checked the boxes that first year. Second year, they went undefeated. How did they not get in? You know what I'm saying? I think the NCAA dropped the ball on that one. They should have let them in. That was messed up because now some of those kids never going to get that back. And some of them kids, they was probably juniors at the time, and now they seniors. The opportunity to go play for a national championship is never going to happen for them now.
Yeah, and
you know
they
what I'm
did everything they were supposed to do.
You had some seniors, coach promised that, hey, if y'all come back, dude, we're going to get in that game. Some of them some juniors that came back, you know, didn't declare for the NFL. They came back because coach told us, hey, you know, we're going to have an opportunity next year to play for the national championship because a lot of people don't get to play for those. You know what I'm saying? So them kids stand and buying into what coach was selling them. The NCAA dropped the ball. They ruined it for those kids.
You think money was involved?
Had to be. You had to be. And I know Florida State ended up losing their quarterback.
Yeah, got hurt.
But what does that matter? Them other kids got to go out there and play. I just feel like the NCAA, they dropped the ball on that one, man.
Yeah. You basically said that since the quarterback got hurt
that we don't want y'all in. That's messed
all
up.
The effort, everybody else put in to get to this point doesn't matter.
Yeah, and now we ain't got to worry about that anymore because next year they extending the team. So
yeah,
you know what I'm saying. So now we ain't really got to worry about them. But I feel like they screwed them over. I really believe that Florida State got messed over. I feel like the 3 undefeated teams should have got in.
I'm bitter, man. I don't. It's hard for me to watch college football at this point.
Man, it hurts
because I'm like. Yeah. I think about all that, and people are going to say, oh, have their other reasons for it. And then I look at the lineup for the top 4 teams, and Georgia's not in there, like you said.
Yeah.
Georgia and Florida State. Like, Texas? I'm so confused, man. I really am. And
it's tough, man. It's tough. So if you was asking me who should have been in there, the 3 undefeated teams should have got in. Michigan should have got in.
Washington
was undefeated. Florida State should have got in.
Mm-hmm.
I know that Alabama beat Georgia, but Georgia was number 1 all year. They lost to a very good Alabama team in the championship game. How do they go from 1 to not even getting in? Like, whoa, what's happening here? How did they go from 1 to just completely out? And they won it the last 2 years. How do you kick them? I thought they was going to three-peat. Mm-hmm. But how do you kick them out of that?
Yeah.
Like that,
interesting.
That to me didn't even make sense. I'm like, they won it the last 2 years. They was number 1 all season long. They lost the national championship to a good Alabama team, a one-loss Alabama team.
And they didn't get blown out.
That's what I'm saying. They went from 1 to completely out of it. Yeah. Like, whoa. Yeah, so I felt like it should have been those 3 undefeated teams and Georgia. They should have been in that number. If anything, they should have won it 4. Those 3 undefeated teams should have jumped them. And the 1 loss, Georgia team should have been there. Texas at 5, and then Alabama at 6.
One has to believe that the ratings and the money and the ad sales and all that comes into play. Because we all know what we just talked about is not as sexy as Texas and Alabama.
Yep. Oh,
you know what I mean?
Oh, watching Nick Saban play against his younger.
I don't see a lot of Florida State T-shirts or Florida State hats here, even in Arizona. I do see Texas, right? I do see Alabama because got your bandwagoners.
Don't sleep on Michigan now. I think Michigan could do something, but I don't see them.
Well, if they get the calls before the game, they might. I'm joking. I'm joking. So I'm sorry.
I like it.
You know what I mean? Like, yeah, I get. No, they're a great team. I mean, they're the number 1 spot.
Yeah, but if you look at all the top bowl games, it's basically the Elite 8.
You're right.
It's basically those teams probably would have been in Elite 8 if it was Elite 8 this year. Those teams them 8 teams would have been battling out.
Yeah.
Because I think they got, if you're looking at a big picture, Elite 8 for next year, those 8 teams probably would have been in the playoffs this year, and they would have battled it out. And who would have won from that, you don't know, because in the playoffs, anything can happen.
Yes.
Anything can happen. And the one thing that before the playoffs, I'll always bring up this scenario, because one of my coaches with the Rams had brought this up, and it put everything in perspective for me. I can't think of the year. It was the year that the Patriots went undefeated.
Okay.
They went undefeated. I think they was 7-7, or they beat Dallas to get in. The Giants. Mm-hmm. They beat Dallas the last game to get in, and everybody was like, they don't even belong in the playoffs because they had a bad record. They barely got in. They had to beat Dallas to even get in. They ran the tables when they got in, and ended up beating the undefeated Patriots team when they got in. So when the playoffs come, it's a different ball game.
You see a lot of those wild cards go running. I saw the Steelers did it. The Arizona Cardinals went in. Yeah, they went in. I mean, I remember that. But I see that all the time.
It happens all the time.
I was telling Clint, I'm like, if I'm a football coach in the NFL, I hate that bye week in the playoffs, that extra week, like that week off. Because everybody's like, we're good.
They didn't tune some stuff up, and they didn't coming in. You just been sitting around. Yeah, I get what you're saying.
They're all those teams coming in. They're hungry. They've been playing. They're warm. Mm-hmm. They got it's. Yeah,
there's a lot of to me, it's reps. They got a lot more reps than we, like game time reps. We got a lot more practice and recovery, but they got actual game reps, and those reps are crucial.
Speed.
Yeah, them reps are crucial, especially in the playoffs. So that's why I'm like, we never know what could have happened in those playoffs, and you don't know what Florida State could have done without that quarterback in the playoffs. We'll never know now, but so it's like
we'll never know.
Yeah, we'll never know. Hopefully, they can go undefeated and try it again next year, but who knows?
Well, Coach, it was great having you here. before we go, what are you telling people, your players, the community? What are you saying to people to motivate them going into this next year? What's a piece of advice you got?
One of the good advice, stay ready so you don't have to get ready. If you're trying to go somewhere you've never been, man, you got to do something you've never done. What was the last thing I told my seniors before they left that banquet? I left them with this. I was like, man, in anything you do, you gotta give, hard. You gotta have hard work. You gotta give maximum effort. It doesn't matter what is it that you're doing. You know what I'm saying? You gotta give that hard work. You gotta give a lot of effort. And because without that effort, you don't give yourself a chance.
Yeah.
You don't give yourself a fighting chance. But even with all that hard work, it doesn't guarantee you nothing. I tell a kid, you can show up every single day and you still don't get to play. It doesn't guarantee you nothing. But without it, you don't have a chance. You know what I'm saying? So work hard at whatever y'all do, man, and keep following Marana. And I really just appreciate you for having me back come here, man.
Of course. We'll get you back in before the season. We'll talk a little bit about that.
Oh, definitely, man. I'd be love to come up here, man. I don't mind talking. I can talk all day, so I don't mind it.
All right. Well, hey, I want to thank you guys for listening to our program. You've made it possible for us to start 2 more subsidiaries, and we're having fun, and we get to have the coach here and other great guests. And I want you to go check out thisismarana.com, which is one of our new subsidiaries, and maranafoodie.com as well. And we hope you have a great beginning of the new year. Stick to your goals, make things happen. If you're looking to advertise on our program, just reach out to us or visit ltdmedia.net, which is our mother company, and go ahead and go to the contact us and shoot us an email so we can get you on here. Again, thank you so much. We appreciate you. Have a good one.